Hello, guys. Welcome. Welcome to another episode of Ripster Daily Trade Recaps and Teachings. Um, nice day, guys. We had a small loser in the morning, but we ended up with some huge winners, which we are going to cover. Today's video, I'm going to keep very short. I have something to get done later this evening, so I'm going to try to wrap up this video as short as possible. If you want to know more about me, my community, my trades, you can watch my previous video recaps. You can watch, go to my Twitter profile, or you go to read what we do here. All these trades and recaps are my ideas or the ideas from my community and from Twitter, YouTube, everywhere. And we try to review our repeatable system. We try to review our repeatable setups. Thousands of traders across the world use my system, my setups, to trade consistently, make money in the stock market, and lose less money, make more money. That's our motto. Every morning we have these game plans, right? You see the game plan which I prepare for the community. Then we have our daily pivot levels for all the stocks which we use, which we provide to the community. Then I also have day 2, day 3 setups. This is a strategy that I invented using the EMA Clouds, that a lot of traders just trade this, do not trade anything else. So we try to find the opportunity. I'm on voice all day. I have my screen share going on. I'm guiding the traders through the various trades all day, and I try to see what's going on there. Okay, so that's the just a quick introduction. So let's start with the first play, and I will show you my timestamp comments. I cannot really show you what I say on the voice, but I'll try to show you. You can pause the screen and see how the stock moved. What was I saying? And I will show you some of my profits, or not profits. We don't share P&Ls. I mean, my trades, right? The percentage gains and shorts and longs and all that. So, all right, let's start. So first one, guys, we're gonna start it with CRM. CRM was a big winner for us. We nailed this setup using our repeatable system. And okay, hold on. Let me see here if I can just go up here. Here you go. I have the recap in the screenshot, so it's easier to show you guys. So before I show you this trade, let's go back and see what was our planning, right? What was our plan on CRM? What was our pre-market plan? Pre-market plan on CRM was 225, 223 pivot, 230 was resistance, 233 was resistance. Those were two pivots. I told clearly to everyone, no long under 225. Whatever happens, we do not long. Yes, we will watch for a B minus curl or a bounce, but we are not going to long under that key level. So that was our plan. Those were our two levels. And as soon as the market opened, I saw the weakness. I knew I'm going to short it. I'm definitely not going to long it, because you can clearly see it's under the clouds, and it's under my key pivot levels. So that's when I told everybody that's it's a confirmed short. You see, I took some time. You can always have a starter and then take a trade, add more into your position, but I already told everybody this is a confirmed short, and that's why we shorted. We could short right away at 225, rejects the level that I gave you, everyone, but we were short there. You can short shares, you can risk like $1,000. The trade ended up making like 8 grands with $1,000 risk. Or you could have taken the options. In this case, I was showing the lot of options that I took for 215 that went for the whole community 100%, 110%. That was a really nice winning trade. So you can see here, you can see how I was guiding everyone, my shorts and my position, and what was our target. So it's a system, right? What is the setup? It's a gap and gap down and fade setup. So it's a repeatable setup. This setup is not the first time we are doing it. We do it every day. I can repeat this setup for rest of my life. I don't really need to go find random setups. This is the earning season. Earning season pays up us really well. And my this option went on to give me 110%, right? And once it curled, we closed here. We closed. It was and we tried to long here. We were long right here. This is my 512 curl setup. And when it pushed here, I told everybody to move the stops, break even. And when it failed, we were out. We didn't lose any money on that long, but then it was a short again because it failed. It was a failed bounce. It's still heavy. Remember, it's still under 3450 EMA cloud, so overall it's still a bearish trend. The bounce was just a B minus scalp, right? You can see here, you can see what I'm saying here. So you see how we cut the longs, right? We just don't hold the longs because it's low or it's down. We just cut it, so we tried to curl it. It didn't work. We were out. And the last curl end of the day kind of worked if you were scalping it. the shorts came in, try to cover their shorts, so you had this bounce, but it's still very bearish. Tomorrow maybe a day too short. The stock doesn't really bounce right away the next day. It's very rare, but if it does, we would be ready. Our level is 218. You can see the level here clearly. But big winner for the community today. You can see my trades as well. Really did good on CRM. Let's move to the next. So next one, guys, we're going to talk about is OKTA. So what was the story about OKTA? So OKTA was another big, huge winner. This one was where I traded the shares. So the plan on OKTA was simple. 100 was support, resistance was 103. Trade versus 100. Gap fill under the clouds, long over it. Breakout is over 103. Very simple plan given to the community in the pre-market. Most of my followers who've been following me from years and years, especially on Twitter, they know this setup. They know the power of psychological levels. A lot of new traders might not know it, who just started to, who don't know me, but this is the best setup, right? You have a clean risk, 100 psychological level. How many times I have shown you this setup? And look, as soon as I saw the weakness, I told everybody to short. I could have had a better entry, but I'm guiding the whole community, so I'm browsing through all the plays. So I missed a good entry, but that's fine. But a lot of traders had good entry. They were already focused on OKTA. But anyways, I was able to short it at 97 something, and then I had a good size because it was a confirmed short, and then it faded. The target was 90, so I gave 90 for first target, then I gave 90 target, and then 90 came. We logged everything on 90. Then I said you can roll the lottos or profits into 88, and then we got 88 target. So look at it. I might have risked a little bit more here because my entry was not good, but still, if I'm risking 2 grand, I am making 7 grand by end of the day, or 8-9 grand on the shares. And the options, even if you took $1,000 option, it went to 3-4 grand. So that's a kind of risk reward. The winners sound to be huge. And once it went through the gap, we had seen this previously as well. When something goes through the gap, it does not bounce on the gap. It's going to fade further, right? So it did not hold the gap, and it faded all the way down further, right? So you see that how that kind of worked out. So that was a great trade in the community, huge winner for me personally as well. Made up for the couple of losses that I had in the morning. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to look at quickly is CAVA. So CAVA was a day 2 setup. Where did it come from? It came from here. Ripster, Rips, day 2, day 3 setups. 85.75 is the support, resistance is 89.69. These I explain it in the webinars, explain it in the previous YouTube videos, how to trade them, how to trade the day 2 levels. And it's over the EMA Clouds, it's over the yesterday's highs, your long versus the clouds. And I did tell everyone that it's working, the day 2 setup, and you can see that day 2 still in the trend, next leg. And I did say, I even tweeted about it, that it's 100 magnet, right? It's IPOs move crazy. They have smaller float, they are more volatile. Once the IPOs break their opening, they break their opening range, like this range, it's a good swing. You see that, right? IPO breakout, retest. Remember the concept of retest and push. So once the IPO breaks this opening range, this is the golden rule of IPOs, guys, then it's a good swing. And then it can keep breaking out. If the earnings are good, it can keep pushing. We have seen this many times in 2020, 2021, when a lot of IPOs were going crazy. And once the IPOs break under their opening lows, there's a no long, right? So you can see the complete life history of CAVA. And you can swing trade it, you can invest it, but regardless, right, we have been trading it since yesterday, and a lot of traders were kind of swinging it. This is my earnings post earnings swing setup as well, that I explain and teach, and was a really good trade, right? Even after I tweeted, it still went up $3 more. And you trade long in the morning versus the breakout 88 or 89 or 10 a.m. flag. You can trade the 10 a.m. flag. You still made $8-9 on this trade. Maybe you risked $1,500, you made for 3-4 grand, right? So that's the kind of trade you are looking for. And this is our day 2 setups. Another winner for the community. Let's go to the next. Another trade for the community today was Path. So Path was another trade for the community, and this was a short. Let's go look at our game plan for the Path. Path 1233 was a support and 1320 was resistance. Bearish to neutral. We'll watch out for any B minus bounces and use the pivots for the levels. Only long over the clouds. So just because it's down to $10 doesn't mean it has to go up $10, guys. So that's what we are trying to do. That's my focus. We don't buy this long. Whatever happens, we are not buying it. That's our golden rule, right? We are not buying this. We don't buy this. That's why in my community we do not lose crazy money, because we are never against the trend. We never get bagged trying to go against the trend. I never let that happen under my watch. So anyways, it was a short right away when this 1250 broke the level that I gave in pre-market, and it faded initially to 1180 for nice little trade. It's in good enough range. This stock barely trades 99 cents, and so that's a good range for that stock. So option kind of moved 20-30%, and then by end of the day it hit 1170, right? So that was a decent. You're risking 20 cents, you're making 70 cents. So that's a good risk reward. One risk to two, three reward. So Path was another winner. You can see the time stamped comments here. Another winner for the community. Let's go to the next one. The next one we're going to look at is NVIDIA. So what was the plan on NVIDIA? What was the trade on NVIDIA for us? So NVIDIA, we were trying to long it this morning. NVIDIA was trying to long it this morning, but then QQQ SPY became heavy. And then I knew it's not going to work. You see that, right? We are trying to break out NVIDIA, but at the same time, market is getting heavy. So you need to understand this marketplace will not work if market is weak. And you see this rejection, and that's when Nvidia failed to break out. So my idea was to long here for this breakout, and breakout failed, and I told everybody just get out, don't touch it. 1140 was a stop. So there was a loser. I didn't even size. I just didn't even size there, because I knew the market is bearish. I knew it's not a great setup. Few traders lost in this today because people are so focused on Nvidia, the crowded trade. Everybody wants to trade Nvidia, but they forget that Nvidia will trade with the market, right? So you cannot get biased. There are better plays out there, so we trade those, not just get too focused into the trades which move with the market. So you have to watch what SPY is doing. You have to watch what QQQ is doing. I keep giving these warnings, even though I gave the Nvidia long idea, but at the same time I was continuously giving the warnings that SPY QQQ heavy. Watch out your bullish setups, right? They are not going to work out. So so today was not the best day to trade these setups, because you can clearly see market bearish, Ripster labels bearish, everything bearish. And at end of the day, Nvidia did give us a nice short, and I did once it breaks this level, you could short this short is okay, because there's no there's nothing much going on. You don't know, it might chop. But then the news hit, right? So there was a news on Nvidia that hit, and that US is going to limit AI chip sales to the Middle East. Who cares? That it's not a big deal maybe for Nvidia, but people have a knee-jerk reaction, and that's why it fades. And so that was the short, and I did talk about that we can fade to 1100. That was on a trading floor, still heavy, and it was by the system EMA Clouds, and you do not hold the longs. So we did trade. We have our news bars which continuously gives us those news. The news came around this area, and it was a nice fade to $1120, and a nice short as well, in the shares as well. So that was Nvidia. Loser in the morning, but good short scalp end of the day. So that was good. Let's go to the next one. So actually the marketplace today were, some of them were like short, right? Meta was notably heavy today. I watched, it was under our pivots, and it faded all day, right? If you miss the morning fade, let it bounce, and you hit right here in this resistance zone, right? If you go to my levels on Meta, were 475, 480 pivots, 469.50 was support, 472.63 was another support. So you could see this was a support zone which was broken. So Meta actually faded all day since my morning mention at 9:36. It faded from 470s to 464s. But you were probably out in middle of the day right here, or maybe you traded the morning, right? But this was a 10 a.m. fade. So watch the 10 a.m. There are a lot of trade setups at 10 a.m. or you trade the mornings or the 10 a.m. So that was Meta. Let's discuss another loser today. That was AI. So AI was a loser because I was trying to trade the breakout on AI, and this, you see this candle, because it was, the system was saying long, so we tried to long, but then it wicked right down, and that's when I got out, right? And then we said we shorted. It actually did fade a dollar when I said shorted, but then we covered the short because it came right back over the clouds. So I don't trade it then. After that, I'm done with it. After this action, two times, if things not working, I'm done. Take the loss, move on. But the community traders did trade the mid of the day setup, right? So if I can show you here, let me show you, here, so you can see, right? So this one, this long breakout, long fail, get out, then you can short here, and then it came back, you get out the short, and then it's choppy, 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 choppy. But then mid of the day, it is giving you the 3450 curl, and this breakout that I was looking in the morning came in the middle of the day, and then it kind of worked out for a lot of people. I was not part of this trade, but it was definitely nice trade here. But we made up for this loss in the big OKTA and CRM trades. So that was AI, guys. Let's go to the next one. Another trade was BBY, which was a long today. BBY, the plan in the pre-market was, extended from the clouds. We'll watch at the open. So I was watching at the open what BBI will do. Then I saw some strength at the open. I said long scalp versus 78. So you could see that it pulled back to that 78 area and then pushed all day, right, from 78 all the way to 81. So that idea was another winning idea in the community. BBY, these are a little tough to trade because the levels are not clear in the pre-market, so you can't really size too much, and it's extended from EMAs, so you have to wait for it to pull back to EMAs, because once there's this empty space between EMAs, you will always have some risk. Remember that. I often teach this concept on EMAs. Next one we're going to look at is PSTG. PSTG. So let's look what was the plan on PSTG. PST better than expected results. 6750 was support. 68972 was resistance. I clearly told everyone gap fill under 6750, long over it. And what did PSTG do? Broke 6750 right away, just like OKTA. I was busy in OKTA, but PSTG gave nice short there. My target I gave everybody was 62 and $60, and it met our first target. Did not meet 60, but that's fine. But it was a nice short from 67.50 all the way to 62. That was a $5 short. Even if you were risking, let's say dollar and a half, you made $4. That was a one risk to three reward trade. Beautiful trade in the community. PSTG, I love these gap fill setups, just beautiful with the planning. You see that how it did, right? Next trade we're going to look at is ANF. ANF. So ANF, it was a big runner for us yesterday. It was a big winner, and it was from my day two sheet right here. ANF 180.67 is the support, and then 186.94 is the support. So once those supports are gone under the cloud, it's a short as per the rules and that we use to trade day two setups. And then ANF day two short here. I told everybody to cover some in 179, some 180 area. My final target was 175. We kind of found a support at 176, so I told everybody to cover the rest of it, right? But it was a nice short, almost a $10 short for us. ANF, you can see the time stamped comments and my pre-market planning. That was a big winner for us. So next one we're going to look at is Disney. So next one we're going to look at is Disney. So I saw Disney, I have been tracking for few days, right? Because it keeps failing, and then it's coming close to this 100 level, right? I'm very interested in the swing on Disney as well versus this 100 psychological level if it doesn't further break down. So that's why I keep eyes on Disney every day. And this morning I noticed Disney has some strength. It has some strength, and I thought I saw some news as well on Disney. But anyways, and then I told everybody notable strength, long versus 101, and it went on to push to 102. Was kind of a decent little scalp trade, and then it ended even higher, and you should close it when it breaks 512. So it was something, just a scalp trade. We'll watch it for the swing as well. There were some other trades in the community, not my personal trades, but just want to point out, like, there was a news how people are learning from the my teachings. So BNTX, we had a news bot. So our news bot alerted the BNTX news at 2:52, and that time it started to break out. Jan, who's a member and who's another trader, he pointed out that it's a 100 psychological level trade, and it went on from 100 to 103. So really nice 100 psychological level long. So you can really see how those those teachings of the concepts are working. Very proud of Jan. It's really showing improvement since he joined the community. But I just showed you the 100 psychological breakdown on OKTA, and this was 100 psychological breakout. I cover it in many of my videos, guys. These are simple concepts that you can use to make a lot of money in the stock market and losing less money and making more money. Let's go to the next one. So next one we're going to look at is HPQ. HPQ was again a miss. I missed it in the morning, but LA, one of our traders, was on top of it since morning, right? So he alerted, and other people in the community alerted it right in the morning, and HPQ ran all day. Beautiful long breakout for the community. That's why I love my trading floor. Such a good trade. The reason I want to talk about HPQ is because we had a triple upgrade on HPQ, right? So if I show you here, let me see if I can find that out. We had earnings, and we had triple upgrades on HPQ from not only one but three analysts. So let's see. Let me see if I can show you the, that. Let's look here. So if we can see, JP Morgan, Wells Fargo, Morgan Stanley, Bank of America. When these big three raise price target on something, guys, that's very high conviction long. Bank of America raising, Morgan Stanley raising, JP Morgan raising, Wells Fargo raising, all the big ones, the tier one are raising. So that means, and if the technicals line up, that's a high conviction long. Look at that, HPQ over the clouds, breaking the pre-market pivots, breaking the over highs, and since LA and RK and other traders in the community talked about it, it went on to run $5 per share. That's the beauty of our community. That's how we love to trade, and proud of everybody in the community. So many ideas, so much learning all day, guys. Thank you so much. That's it for today. Short video. I'll see you tomorrow, Lord of Friday. We're going to have fun. If you want to join the community, you can join with the links given below. Come for guidance and ideas. Do not come for alerts. Thank you. Take care. Bye bye.